and at lower costs.
So this is a nut and bolt thread gauge made by a company by the name of Altitude Craft. All right, I got this off the TikTok shop. Now this is a machine piece of 6061 aluminum, anodized aluminum. All of these stainless steel threaded slugs are 304 stainless to resist corrosion and for precision. So it starts at the top at 4 millimeter.
According to Mark Steven, the efforts to jumpstart the laser weapon manufacturing industry are on their way. Quote, "We're making capital investments to be ready to manufacture key high-energy laser components at full production rates and low cost. We're investing over $20 million in our Orlando-based optical component center to expand the manufacturing footprint by 40%. It is clear that manufacturing setbacks are temporary, and once the production chain of components is established, the future of laser warfare technology will be unleashed, and the technology will be implemented in airborne, naval, and ground military systems." One of the significant factors that have contributed to securing American interests around the globe is the U.S. policy of keeping military bases in foreign territories. With no other nation in the world having as many military posts worldwide, the U.S. has been able to deploy its mighty military in ways no other country has been able to. But the policy has come at a price. U.S. military bases in other countries have caused more than their fair share of tensions and political controversies, and the U.S. has been forced to develop innovative ways to protect them without increasing diplomatic tensions. Enter the active denial system, a groundbreaking and unlethal directed energy weapon created by the U.S. military for area denial, perimeter security, and crowd control as safely and effectively as possible. As a hostile crowd enters the perimeter of the U.S. military, the mobile active defense system can engage large groups of intruders by emitting a beam of concentrated energy that immediately causes significant discomfort. Despite many considering it a technological marvel, controversy has surrounded the weapon, with an unfortunate incident in 2007 putting the entire project at risk. For decades, non-lethal crowd control solutions used by American law enforcement in the U.S. military have showcased several significant flaws that have resulted in tragedy. Conventional counter-personnel non-lethal weapons like rubber rounds, beanbags, and water cannons use kinetic energy to break hostile groups apart and dissuade them from advancing on a specific perimeter. However, kinetic-based systems present a significant risk of human injury, depending on the part of the body the weapon makes contact with and the environmental characteristics in a specific scenario. A rubber round might be mostly non-lethal by itself, but it can push an intruder off a tall structure. As such, the technology becomes harder to control. Additionally, the effectiveness of conventional kinetic solutions fluctuates drastically depending on the target's size, age, and gender, making it unreliable and prone to fatal accidents. If a kinetic weapon is designed to take a hostile male out of a battle unharmed, the effects can be considerably more severe if the same system is used against a female perpetrator. To make matters worse, most of the non-lethal kinetic perimeter enforcement solutions also display a minimal range, especially compared to lethal weapon systems. This resulted in military personnel being exposed to higher levels of risk to confront the threat. Thus, the U.S. military needed a non-lethal weapon system capable of offering much more control, more extended range and reliability, and as minor collateral damage as possible, especially when defending military infrastructure on foreign soil, politically unstable territories, and regions where they cannot rely on law enforcement support. Developing an effective system, regardless of size, age, and gender, and with a superior range compared to small arms fire, became a priority for the U.S. Defense Department. Soon, the solution would come knocking at their door. Military research around the globe has significantly focused on the development of direct energy weapons, from missile-destroying lasers to nuclear-focusing space beams to microwave crowd control devices. Such a futuristic technology appears to be feasible enough to attract the attention of military investment. The premise is simple: generate significant amounts of energy, magnify it to be delivered to its target, and effectively neutralize it. The Active Denial System, or ADS, works by unleashing a high-powered 100-kilowatt beam of 95 gigahertz waves at the target, and effectively heating its skin to a highly uncontrollable level while remaining non-lethal. The blast produced by the device is similar to the energy produced by a microwave oven. The main difference is that the waves deployed by the ADS can travel for very long distances while still providing enough power for successful deterrence. In 2002, an early version of the ADS was developed for the U.S. Advanced Concept Technology Demonstration Project. The scheme allowed technology innovators to swiftly build prototypes for emerging technology and demonstrate the concept to possible government investors and military manufacturers. The result was a rudimentary crowd control system designed for law enforcement and prison riot scenarios. The device had a minimal range, and it showcased numerous flaws and probable risks. Still, the demonstration was impressive enough to gain the attention of the Defense Department, who decided to invest in the project and further optimize the technology. In 2004, the U.S. Defense Department signed a contract for $6.3 million to develop a single optimized 95 GHz millimeter wave source system capable of providing perimeter denial for military infrastructure. With the backing of the U.S. military, the ADS system evolved swiftly. By 2005, advanced prototypes were ready for testing on human targets. The optimized ADS prototypes consist of a high-power linear beam vacuum tube array called a gyrotron that produces millimeter wave electromagnetic waves by cyclotron resonance of electrons within a powerful magnetic field. The electromagnetic waves produced by the device are then channeled through a flat antenna-like contraption that directs the energy to its intended target with an operating distance of up to 800 feet. Two variations of the ADS were produced, and the technology prototype integrated the system into a high-mobility, multi-purpose wheeled vehicle. Meanwhile, the tactical version is built like an armored, containerized system transportable by military armored vehicles. Contrary to many rumors that have spread since its unveiling, the ADS does not use laser beams, radioactive materials, or wavelengths equal to that of a microwave oven. In fact, the system is designed to avoid causing permanent damage and radiation harm or skin burn. As opposed to the 2.45 GHz a microwave oven operates at, the ADS unleashes waves at 95 GHz, and the much shorter wavelength can travel longer distances while only capable of penetrating 1/64th of an inch of the target's skin, causing an overwhelming burning sensation, but not delivering permanent damage. If the system unleashed energy on the same wavelength as a microwave oven, the heat would penetrate the target several inches deep, causing more damage to the receptors. The different versions of the ADS have undergone numerous tests and thorough assessments, and over 13,000 controlled exposures have been carried out with the help of volunteers, both in static demonstrations and in realistic simulations. An Air Force Research Laboratory member recalled his experience as a test subject for the ADS. Quote, "For the first millisecond, it just felt like the skin was warming up. Then it got warmer and warmer, and you felt like it was on fire. As soon as you're away from that beam, your skin returns to normal, and there's no pain." Many other volunteers described being exposed to the heat ray as very similar to the temporary heat felt by opening the door to a hot oven. The sensation is strong enough to trigger a nearly instantaneous reflex action to flee from the beam. Of the thousands of tests performed on human volunteers, only 2 serious injuries occurred. The first case happened in January of 1999, when the ADS technology was still in its early development phase. In it, a researcher was exposed to a not yet optimized beam of heat, resulting in a quarter-sized blister that healed in a couple of weeks. The second occurrence took place in April of 2007, when an airman volunteer was injured during a training exercise, receiving second-degree burns from overexposure to the ADS due to human error and procedural miscalculations. The wounded soldier made a full recovery, but the event dramatically crippled the untethered development the ADS had enjoyed until then. Despite ADS researchers assuring that injury probability is as low as 1%, and that kinetic non-lethal weapons have a much higher risk of delivering permanent damage, many critics have questioned the technology after the 2007 incident, citing the long development and lack of deployment as a sign that there is something wrong with it. Other detractors point to the fact that the ADS can easily be turned into a severely harmful weapon if misused or in the hands of untrained personnel. Whatever the reason, the ADS has not seen any combat usage, despite being deemed ready for deployment since 2007. Only a few ADS units were deployed during the war in Iraq, but they ended up not being used, fueling its detractors' suspicions even further.
Are you passionate about grilled food and outdoor cooking? Then you need to hear this. Many of us recognize the importance of a sturdy, sharp knife that can effortlessly cut through different types of meat. After all, no one wants to be put in the awkward situation of bringing forth an impressive barbecue roast only to struggle to cut a slice in front of all the guests. It can make any grill master look like a grill disaster. Most cheap, store-bought knives dull quickly, while professional chef's knives are unnecessarily expensive and difficult to maintain for someone who only wants a fun cookout with their friends and family. The creators of the Mazzotto knife tried to fill the gap in the market by creating a premium quality knife that could provide a professional cutting experience at an affordable price and make anyone feel like an expert chef. The secret behind the Mazzotto knife's success is the unique fusion of old-age Japanese craftsmanship with modern, innovative design principles, focused entirely on creating a sharp, ergonomic, and stylish knife for any type of cooking. The Mazzotto team delved deep into the history of over 1,000 knives, from simple butter knives to legendary Japanese katanas, distilling centuries of innovation into a single standout knife that's as practical as beautiful. The increased curvature of the blade improves edge alignment, ensuring that the blade stays straight with each cut, significantly reducing the pressure needed to cut. Less pressure on the blade means it will remain razor sharp longer. This means you can enjoy smooth, effortless.
For decades, the United States and other militaries around the world have been developing laser weapons that can be used against hostile targets to cause as much damage as possible. However, the U.S. Air Force has recently developed a unique-looking, state-of-the-art laser rifle that aims to do the contrary, and has been baptized as the Phaser, or Personnel Halting and Stimulation Response Rifle. The weapon has a laser sight that dazzles the targets and temporarily incapacitates them, without causing any sort of irreversible damage or revealing the source. It is described by the United States Air Force as, quote, a rifle-sized laser weapon system that uses two non-lethal laser wavelengths to deter, prevent, or mitigate an adversary's effectiveness. Many people believe the rifle might have been inspired by the famous Star Trek franchise. Regardless, the honest officer philosophy calls for the ship's crew to avoid any lethal engagement, or, as they put it, set phasers to stun. One of the Air Force Directed Energy Directorate's first laser weapon developments was Sabre 203, a state-of-the-art laser that was specifically fitted to an M16 assault rifle armed with a 40mm grenade launcher. Sabre 203 comprised two parts, a metallic capsule that shares the same shape and size as the 40mm grenade launcher and that houses the laser device, and a tiny control box that snaps onto the launcher's base. To use the laser, an operator first loaded the laser capsule into the 40mm tube as if it were a grenade. Then, he placed a battery pack on the M16's underside and snapped it. The operator then manually activated the laser with a button located on the battery pack, and it could be set in motion without interruption or pulsed to turn it on and off. Sabre 203 was easy to operate and handle under combat, where a soldier or marine could easily swap the capsule for a conventional grenade to fire against the enemy. During the American invasion of Somalia during Operation United Shield in 1995, U.S. Marines employed the laser with great success against the enemy as part of their nighttime operations. Sabre 203 then led to the development of BOSS, the Battlefield Optical Surveillance System. BOSS comprised an array of sensors, lasers, and optics that were mounted on top of Humvees and other American armored vehicles. A red or green laser was used to aim at specific targets before the soldiers could fire their machine guns. The Sabre 203 laser illuminator set the groundwork for what would eventually be the Phaser rifle. Blinding laser weapons have been banned since 1995 under the Protocol on Blinding Laser Weapons. Protocol 4 of the 1980 Convention on Certain Conventional Weapons was formally issued by the UN on October 13, 1995. Since then, over 109 countries have agreed to the protocol, and the United States acceded to it on January 21, 2009. The reason behind the protocol's adoption was to, quote, counter the silent and invisible threat to human sight posed by the threat of blinding laser weapons deemed to cause unnecessary suffering or superfluous injury. Article 1 from the protocol establishes that, quote, It is prohibited to employ laser weapons specifically designed as their sole combat function or as one of their combat functions to cause permanent blindness or unenhanced vision, that is, to the naked eye or to the eye with corrective eyesight devices. The high contracting parties shall not transfer such weapons to any state or non-state entity. However, based on Article 3, the protocol does not prohibit attacks against optical equipment such as periscopes, telescopes, and binoculars. Still, such attacks may also lead to human injury, and it is an ongoing issue. The personnel halting and stimulation response, or phaser, has a laser light that illuminates or dazzles aggressors and temporarily impairs individuals and their ability to see the laser source. This innovative, non-lethal illumination technology was developed by the Scorpworks Laboratory Team, a research unit in the Laser Division of the Air Force Research Laboratory's Directed Energy Directorate at Kirtland Air Force Base in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The project's sole objective was to come up with what Kirtland Air Force officials have described as, quote, the first man-portable, non-lethal deterrent weapon intended for protecting troops and controlling hostile crowds. During a recent live weapons demonstration test at Kirtland Air Force Base, Captain Drew Gettler showed how the phaser laser rifle operates. Members from the Air Force Research Laboratory's Directed Energy Directorate explained that the phaser rifle was developed to neither fatally wound nor injure the intended targets. Instead, the weapon only temporarily blinds them, to immobilize them without causing bodily harm. 2 prototypes were shown to the public, before one of them was shipped to Texas for additional testing.
Systems.
Funding for this non-lethal rifle came from the Joint Non-Lethal Weapons Directorate and the National Institute of Justice, one of the most important organizations when it comes to using military technology for civil law enforcement. The phaser program has also received support from the Department of Defense, with the intention to mass-produce the laser weapon for police roles. Spokespersons from the Department of Defense have pointed out that the phaser rifle could be used to temporarily blind suspects who drive through a roadblock or any other situation in which non-lethal methods can be used to take down a target. Although it has never been publicly acknowledged, it is possible that the laser rifle's name comes from the so-called phaser rifle used by characters from the Star Trek science fiction franchise. In that universe's lore, the phaser is a portable energy weapon with 2 different firing modes. One can fatally wound a target, while the other can strike living organisms with non-lethal effects that temporarily incapacitate them. Despite the little information that has been shared by the Air Force and the Department of Defense, some experts have explained how the phaser laser rifle works. First, it incorporates a unique power source that makes the weapon completely self-contained. Second, it includes 2 low-power diode pump lasers, one visible wavelength and one mid-infrared one. Despite the many innovations of the phaser rifle and its supposedly harmless characteristics, many are still doubtful. During an interview with Will Knight, the New Scientist, Tobias Feakin, an expert at Bradford University's Non-Lethal Weapons Research Project in the United Kingdom, said, quote, in the past, the problem with lasers of this type has been that they often permanently blind human targets. This new wave of low-intensity laser weapons does not have a permanently damaging effect, apparently. Other global agencies currently working on weapons of the same nature have shared similar concerns. Some laboratories have conducted studies that have shown that even lower laser systems can lead to irreversible eye damage if they're used at close quarters for extended periods of time. Other experts that have worked with similar projects have claimed that phaser may attempt to address these safety concerns by automatically sensing the target from a safe distance. This eye-safe rangefinder may help the operator adjust the laser's power according to the target's location. This is also where the 2-wavelength laser system may come in handy, to counter goggles that can filter specific wavelengths of a laser sight. The Air Force and Scorp Corps are hard at work testing the laser weapon to ensure it complies with the United Nations directives. And in order to license the phaser rifle, the Air Force would have to prove that it is not harmful to the eye and does not lead to permanent damage.
Secure Code Training Module 96.
Let's try something a little more fun.
Holy sh!
I think he likes it.
I know code foo. Show me.
Wow, I guess you do. Free your developer's time with Wiser Secure Code Training.
So this is for cash.
Casual Friday. Yep.
See you Monday.
There you go.
Hell yeah, Spoopy Dooby. I'm finna do my little jingle jingle. You know how it is. Trying to get this little thunking thinking here. Be alright. Something's gonna pop out of this. Hell yeah. Damn it. You want to be stupid, huh? Fucking Microsoft. You know damn well what I'm trying to do. Stupid. Shit, don't want to help me, Microsoft. Fucking asshole, don't make me do this whole dot by dot shit. Hater. Look. Oh my god. Fucking Microsoft, they're with this shit. What the shit, Microsoft? What the fuck? Man. Shit together, Microsoft. Yo, man, this shit became orange here. What the fuck is this shit? Microsoft, man. Sometimes. Anyways, I'm just here to unite. The fuck off, man. Fuck you, Microsoft. You can be lame if you want to. What the fuck, man? Come on with the bullshit. Whatever, you know what I mean. This thing here. Whatever that is. Ah, my girl's out. The AI is making me suffer for talking shit. No. Really, AI? Fuck you, I already put black. What is it, dude? Black. Oh, look, I'm looking at it. Confirmed black. Shit. Motherfucker, man, what the fuck was that? Last Michael hard. I'll do my own coloring, Microsoft. Fuck you. Word. What the fuck, man? Leave it alone, Michael. Fuck. I click away somewhere else before I do that. Oh shit. You be lame, microwave. I mean Microsoft. You be lame, fool. You got lame. You about that lame, man. Look, everybody click on that, bro. Hey, man. Only nigga done that to us. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no, big Snoop Dogg. I get the blue. I got the blue. I got the blue. You don't really want to walk. All of this is going to be welded. Welded. Weld? Now we know it's going to be weld. Well, oh, well. Ah, son of a Jesus. Blue dude. I said black. When I said black, I meant black. Damn. And it's still gray. God damn. Stop fucking with me, microfuck, please. It's black, man. Alright. Fuck off. What the fuck is this? Man, fuck off with this. I'd rather paint my own shit than try to expect Microsoft to know the smallest thing about continuity or anything like that. Graphic continuity, logistics, and this motherfucker. Let it die. They say, fuck your project. Gotta save memory. Fuck you, microwave. I mean, Microsoft. Got things to do, bro. You buy the permission. Whatever, you know what I mean. That one over there. Zoink, zoink. What the fuck, man? Come on. Like yourself, you fucker. Stuff from it's kind of like my bad. That black line was good. If this is going here, then have to go here. So, why is it in flat? What the First of all, dude, let it be black. Let it be tiny. And fucking stop it there. God damn. Took the midnight train going anywhere. Don't stop believing. Wine and cheap perfume. Oh yeah, we gotta play some kind of. Midnight train going anywhere.
This video is sponsored by Conflict of Nations, the free online strategy game happening in a modern global warfare. Set in the early 20s.
I switched from State Farm because of this site. They had me paying $163 a month for my new car, and I got a rate for just $86. Full coverage. That's $77 a month I get to save. Try it. It works.
Fuck yeah, commercial.
21st century, Conflict of Nations puts you in control of a real country and its army in the quest for world domination. You're in charge of everything. The economic and technological development of your nation, the alliances and coalitions with other players, and most importantly, your military tactics. One of my favorite parts of Conflict of Nations is just how deep the strategy can get when you're taking on up to 128 players at once, moving units around the map in real time with objectives that can take hours to finish and game rounds that can take weeks to complete, giving you tons of time to strategize and plan. and you can play with the same account on both PC and mobile, so you never lose sight of your war. Infographics show viewers get a special gift of 13,000 gold and 1 month of premium subscription for free when they use the link, but it's only available for 30
Shit
days.
broke halfway.
So click the link, choose a country, and start fighting your way to victory right now. What would borders look like after World War III? The First and Second World Wars reshuffled borders around the world, but nowhere more significantly than in Europe. After World War I, many countries had their borders reorganized, largely to punish Germany. And in the aftermath of World War II, the tug-of-war between the two empires, led by the United States and the Soviet Union, treated the continent like a game of Risk, dividing up territory between their two blocks, and even carving Germany into two, with a big wall in the middle. And some countries like Prussia ceased to exist altogether. And if it happened again, things would likely be just as thorny, but maybe not just in Europe. First up, let's look at the tail of the tape. We don't know if
Son
or
of a
how
bitch, come
World
on.
War III will break out, but we can assume who will be on what side. The main forces on one side will likely be led by the United States along with its allies in NATO, including Canada, the United Kingdom, France, and just about all of the European Union. They'll be joined by the West Asian allies, including Japan, South Korea, India, and Taiwan. In the Middle East, Israel and Saudi Arabia will likely staunchly be on this side as well, although financial and security concerns may cause them to take a more low-key role. And while they might be far from the action, Australia and New Zealand will likely be aligned with this bloc as well. The other side may be smaller in number, but it'll have some real powerhouses. The odds-on favorite for lighting the match that'll burn into World War III is probably Russia, whose invasion of Ukraine has kicked off a massive regional war and whose belligerent actions and comments toward NATO have everyone afraid of escalation. They're largely isolated diplomatically and economically, but that wouldn't be the case if it turns into a larger conflict. While China has backed away from reflexively supporting the war on Ukraine in recent months, the two countries see themselves as the alliance against U.S. domination of the world, and any World War III would likely see those two great powers in firm accord. They would be joined by a few powerful countries, including the nuclear powers of North Korea and likely Pakistan, whose bitter rivalry with India would likely tilt them toward China's side. Nuclear power wannabe Iran has been one of Russia's staunchest supporters in the current war, and they'll likely pick up a few other allies around the world, like Belarus, Syria, and Venezuela. And when these two blocs go to war, it's almost guaranteed to leave a different world in its wake. There are two questions about World War III that will determine what the world looks like in the aftermath. The first is if nuclear weapons wind up being used. While Putin threatens to use nuclear weapons about every 10 minutes, the fact is no country has used them in combat since 1945. Everyone is very hesitant to take the first shot that could lead to a world-ending exchange of missiles. All of the US, Russia, and China likely have the nuclear arsenal to create the threat of mutually assured destruction. If a missile gets fired off and it leads to a larger nuclear exchange, then it's possible there would be no borders at all in certain countries, or all of them, because they would no longer exist. While a full nuclear exchange between the largest countries might be less likely, a more limited nuclear exchange between rivals like India and Pakistan could be more likely. But even if Earth avoids nuclear annihilation, there are a lot of questions to answer. For one thing, who wins the war? This would obviously change the outcome of the borders. Like the past world wars, the side with the United States is the heavy favorite. They have the most state-of-the-art military equipment, the larger nuclear arsenal, the most powerful aircraft carriers, and the stronger economic connections. It's highly unlikely that the United States and NATO could be defeated on the battlefield, but their biggest enemy might be themselves. The likely hope for Russia and China's bloc is to wear down their enemy until the war loses support, and for the American bloc to eventually just withdraw from the war like they did in Vietnam. If they did that, Russia and China would likely have relatively free reign. Putin would likely get his wish of reincorporating Ukraine, and then would set his sights on the other countries that gained independence in the aftermath of the collapse of the Soviet Union, both in Europe and in Central Asia. He would begin with countries that aren't a part of NATO, but there's no guarantee he'd stop there. It's likely that a full invasion of NATO territory would kick off a new conflict, so it might be more likely that he would satisfy himself with restoring the country's former glory. But this might just be the calm before the storm. As the odds are, the war would kick off again soon enough. The same might go for Asia. China has one big goal ever since it started saber-rattling decades ago, taking over the island nation of Taiwan and turning it into a Chinese possession. This is as much a point of pride as anything else for China, and it would likely be the initial attack they made in a larger war. Other countries in China's immediate vicinity might be in danger too, particularly Vietnam, Japan, and South Korea. However, this would likely only happen in the unlikely event of a total victory where the United States' forces are defeated. So it's more likely that in a negotiated settlement, China would be taking over parts of other countries. They would likely use this opportunity to claim back more Himalayan territory from India and establish a permanent claim to the South China Sea. The most likely countries for them to take over in full might be some of the small island nations in the Pacific, which could become major beachheads in the Pacific War. But it's far more likely this would go the other way. Most analysts believe that the United States and NATO bloc has far superior firepower and organization to the Russia-China bloc, and that any conflict that didn't escalate to full nuclear exchange would likely go in their favor. The main question is whether Russia and China are able to withdraw from the conflict gracefully or take it to the bitter end. That would play a big role in whether the borders of the world are dramatically reshuffled or not. If Russia and China are allowed to avoid the embarrassment of a full surrender, the odds are good they might be allowed to slink away with what they had before the war, if not what they're actually holding at its conclusion. It's all about which side wants peace more and what they're willing to give for it. First, let's take a look at which areas aren't likely to see their borders change. Possibly the safest place in the world to be during World War III is South America, and odds are good that this continent might be left out of it altogether. Most of South American countries are led by mainstream left-wing leaders, and while some of them have made controversial pro-Putin comments, almost all have good diplomatic and economic relations with the U.S. No HVAC techs required.
Shut up. What the
Also, none of them have militaries meant for global warfare and are likely to take an isolationist approach to the war. The one exception is Venezuela, led by fiery autocrat Nicolas Maduro, although his rule is contested by an ongoing power struggle, and his rival Juan Guaido is recognized by many countries. Maduro is held onto power by force so far. While Maduro is considered solidly a Putin ally and an enemy of the U.S., he doesn't have much firepower and isn't likely to send his small military halfway across the world to aid his allies. With no direct involvement in the war, the victors are likely to let Maduro's Venezuela just continue to be South America's resident crazy uncle. And the situation's probably similar to the North. Unlike South America, North America is going to be directly involved in the war, with 2 NATO members taking up the majority of its land area. But it's also far away from the likely major fronts in the war, 2 massive oceans away to be exact. During the First World Wars, the United States only saw a few attacks off its coasts, and most famously in Hawaii. Today, missiles make it much easier to strike around the world, but being able to strike the U.S. doesn't make it any easier to conquer. Both the U.S. and Canada are massive, and would likely be the last countries targeted for invasion. Then there's Mexico, and while the U.S.'s southern neighbor has tense relations at times, it's not likely to go against it in a war. There will be no repeat of the Zimmerman telegram here, so North America is likely to remain in the status quo. And another continent gets to breathe a sigh of relief. The borders of Africa were largely drawn by colonial powers over the last few centuries, and many of the countries didn't even gain their independence until the mid-20th century. Today, many of them are still developing their economies after centuries of having their fates determined by outside powers, and as such aren't seen as global military powers. They are, however, becoming a hub for economic development. Due to mistrust of the Western powers, many are cutting economic deals with China, but it's likely none would have the military reach or the desire to join the war on their side. While it is possible China's presence in these states, particularly Djibouti, where China has a military state, could pull Africa in more directly, it's unlikely that redrawing any borders in Africa would be a priority for the winners. The changes would be concentrated everywhere else, and they could be massive. Across the world, there might be smaller conflicts that would boil over in the middle of World War III, and each one would likely end with some significant changes to the world's borders. Probably the least significant would be a potential clash between India and Pakistan, concentrated in the Kashmir region. It's likely India would be aligned with the US and NATO, while Pakistan is aligned with China, but it's not guaranteed that either party would get directly involved in the larger war. However, the 2 countries are on the verge of conflict in the best of times. So a shooting war between them could break out in times of enhanced global conflict. But how much would this change on the ground? Odds are that at the end of the war, assuming neither country had been thoroughly defeated, which is unlikely, given that both are major regional nuclear powers, the victors of the war would lean heavily on India and Pakistan to settle the conflict via a peace treaty once and for all. While India's faction would be likely to win the war, it doesn't mean India would necessarily win this skirmish. And even if they did, that doesn't necessarily mean that they would get everything they wanted out of the deal. The world would likely be more concerned with settling the conflict for good. And that would mean finding a deal both sides could sign, even if no one was happy with it. But would either country want to take more than just Kashmir? It's unlikely, as unlike other countries with long-standing conflicts, India and Pakistan don't lay claim to one another. Quite the opposite, in fact. They're glad to be rid of each other. The partition of India and later the partition of Pakistan that led to the creation of Bangladesh were bloody affairs intended to fend off far worse bloodshed. Today, Pakistan is almost entirely Muslim, while India has a strong Hindu majority, and neither country wants to turn back the clock and become a massive melting pot again, no matter who is in charge. So any border changes here are likely to be focused on security issues and border regions. The same can't be said for other conflicts. It's one of the most intractable conflicts in the world, the ongoing Cold War and occasionally hot war between Israel and its Arab and Muslim neighbors. Since 1948, there have been multiple wars aimed at destroying the Israeli experiment. All have failed, and over decades, Israel has made peace or at least coexistence agreements with many of them. Egypt and Jordan are now unlikely to participate in any attack against Israel, but the same can be said for Israel's northern neighbor, Syria. Not only is it still run by a ruthless enemy of Israel, Bashar al-Assad, but Israel still possesses a section of Syria it claimed after the 1967 war, the Golan Heights. And Israel is about to get a new government, featuring its former right-wing leader who is now backed up by far-right coalition partners, meaning relations could deteriorate with all its neighbors. And there's another element that could make this conflict boil over in a hurry. Syria is involved in a brutal civil war, with Russia backing Assad's regime. This means Russian troops are present in Syria, and largely keeps the militant groups from shooting down at Israeli territory. It's a key reason why Israel has been hesitant to contribute too much to Ukraine's defense, for fear of Putin unleashing his forces in retaliation. But they might not have that choice in a larger war. If Putin uses Syria to launch a proxy war on Israel, Israel's likely to give the okay for retaliatory strikes and maybe a full invasion of Syria. The same might happen with the Hezbollah-controlled Lebanon next door, where border skirmishes are common. This is a small-scale conflict, and unless Russia or its regional ally Iran decides to get directly involved, Israel is likely to win decisively, and that could mean a major change in the Middle East. Israel has been pushed to give back much of the land it took from surrounding countries in the past wars, such as the Sinai Peninsula, to Egypt, but it always came through one circumstance: peace deals. Without any such deal with Syria, it has steadfastly held on to the Golan Heights for security reasons, and it's likely a new conflict would mean taking more mountain regions from Syria and Lebanon. While this isn't likely to get Israel into a new occupation quagmire like other war claims it made after the 1967 war, it could significantly increase the small country's territory and lead it to becoming more of a regional power. But in another country, it could be all or nothing. The Korean Peninsula is a tale of two countries divided since the Korean War. While it started as a military dictatorship, today capitalist South Korea is a thriving democracy with a rich tech and entertainment sector and close relations with the United States. It would be a key part of the Asian front along with Japan and Taiwan. Meanwhile, to the north, North Korea is still under the same clan of communist rulers that took control of the country, and much of the country lives in extreme poverty. It's closely aligned with China, although even the Chinese Communist Party tends to view the Kim clan as unpredictable wildcards. The difference is never starker than when looking at a lighting map of the two countries. And after 70 years, the two Koreas are no closer to peace. In fact, neither country even acknowledges the other as a legitimate country. Both claim to be the rightful ruler of the entire Korean peninsula. And while an armistice has held until now, nuclear-armed North Korea continues to provoke its neighbors. It's entirely possible that a shooting war could begin between the two countries amid world.
Woo, this is a tough choice, but I can't go like this. I'll give up my sword. My level is still too high. I'll get rid of all my armor. I'm still too cool. Now it should be good. What? It's a trap. I lost all my progress. And now I have to level up again.
War 3. It is unlikely that South Korea would start the war, and it's also not clear if China would want North Korea to make a move on its southern neighbor. But Kim Jong-un might just see the world going to war and decide there's no better chance to make his move. And in a full conflict between the Koreas, there's only one major question. Would North Korea pull the trigger on nuclear weapons? If it targets Seoul, odds are strong that Seoul's allies would target Pyongyang with everything they had in retaliation. That could leave both Koreas a wasteland and leave the entire peninsula as valuable real estate for its neighbor China. But if it remains a conventional war, odds are it'll still be a long and bloody one. The two countries have amongst the biggest armies per capita in the world, thanks to extensive conscription. And if it goes on long enough, it's likely both countries' allies would get into the conflict. But is a unified Korea even possible? It's unlikely, because the systems of government are so radically different that it would be near impossible to incorporate them. North Korea would never be able to subjugate all of South Korea's population after decades of freedom, except in the case where its faction had essentially taken over the world. And while South Korea talks a big game about North Korea being a part of its territory, it's not clear if they're up to the task of taking in tens of millions of citizens who've been raised in a cult-like environment with absolute loyalty to their leader. In fact, the most likely solution to the conflict might come from a third party. Odds are China would be watching the conflict carefully, encouraging and funding their North Korean allies, but making sure they don't go too far. And if it looks like Kim Jong-un is about to become the first person to use nuclear weapons in the conflict, Chinese troops could easily launch a sneak attack from the north, decapitate the North Korean regime, and take control of the area in the name of stabilizing the situation, and expand their territory while mostly being seen as a savior. Of course, then it might only be a matter of time before they start making noise about the reunification of Chinese Korea. But China might have a much bigger concern at the end of the war. Just about every country that loses a war winds up seeing the victors take the spoils, but things might not be so simple with China. China's likely to be seen as the secondary aggressor in the conflict, and its participation is likely to be limited to Asia and the Pacific. An invasion of China would be incredibly difficult due to China's massive population and challenging terrain, and would also be the most likely cause of China using nuclear weapons. So it's likely when dealing with China, the American-aligned bloc would be satisfied with getting a cessation of hostilities and some modest concessions. But that doesn't mean China wouldn't have some bitter pills to swallow. The first wouldn't actually affect China's borders, at least not the borders that are officially acknowledged. It would probably have to give up claims to Taiwan and any territories it seized in the South China Sea and the Pacific. With the United States strongly backing Taiwan in the war and the island nation being so key to the world's tech infrastructure, it would likely wind up in a similar situation to Japan and South Korea, a U.S. ally where it had personal protection of the United States to guarantee its continued independence. But China might face some deeper cuts. Depending on how thoroughly it lost the war and how many concessions it was forced to make, it might be ordered to allow for independence for several contested regions. This might include the provinces of formerly British Hong Kong, which has bitterly resisted the harsh imposition of CCP rule in recent years, or the wealthy business hub of Macau. More significantly, it might be forced to give up some border regions to India as part of the peace deal or allow for independence or self-determination for the region of East Turkestan, also known as Xinjiang. This area, largely populated by the Uyghur Muslim minority, has seen brutal oppression by the Chinese government in recent years. However, both this and the large region of Tibet, which was annexed by China decades ago, might be a bridge too far for China to agree to, and the victorious coalition might be forced to let China's borders remain largely intact or threaten the delicate peace. But it isn't the same case for another aggressor in the conflict. Much like Germany during World War II, a defeated Russia is likely to face far deeper cuts than its ally to the east. It is likely that Russia would be only defeated once Vladimir Putin is removed from office by any means necessary, be it the NATO coalition or his own people. He's proven that he's willing to burn through Russia's military stockpile to get Ukraine, and it might be too obsessed to stop. But a new leader might be willing to cut Russia's losses and rebuild. But that doesn't mean that the NATO forces would be willing to go easy, because Europe's borders are likely to change a lot in the aftermath. The most significant changes might be outside of Russia. Odds are nations like Ukraine and other former Eastern Bloc states would be stampeding to join NATO and the EU, seeking the protection of a larger power. Russia, who threatened invasion of any country on its border that joined, would likely be powerless to stop them this time. At the very least, Russia would find itself confined to its current borders and surrounded by countries that wanted nothing to do with it. And if the EU decided to shift from being a loose confederation to being a more cohesive nation, they could potentially become the largest country by land area in the world. Another blow to Russia's reputation. Heck, even the UK might look across the channel and think it wanted to be part of the party again. But Russia might face harsher cuts than that. The best case scenario for Russia after losing the war is that it would be reduced to all the territory it had before the war in Ukraine began, and that might be generous. Ukraine's president has insisted there won't be any deal that allows Russia to keep captured territory, including Crimea, seized before the war. This is a key access route for Russia, and they'll likely fight hard to keep it. But if they're at the point of surrender, they might have no choice. But the stakes could be much higher for Russia. Could the end of the war lead to the collapse of Russia? It's unlikely as long as the war ends with a stable Russian government intact. It is certain that they'll be working to hold on to every bit of territory they can, but this may be easier said than done, since Russia is home to dozens of ethnic groups, each with its own cultural region and its own independence movement. A weakened Russian government would see these movements step up efforts to gain autonomy, and the West would likely not be interested in helping them resist it. In a worst-case scenario, Russia could see a continuation of the collapse of the Soviet Union, and the propaganda map created by Russia to show the threats facing it could become a reality due to its military adventurism. But in the end, most country borders are likely to stay intact. Several continents won't be directly involved in World War III, and many of those that are would not see their borders change significantly. While the losers of the war would see dramatic changes on the border, few will see anything as dramatic as the aftermath of the world wars. Of course, this is all dependent on everyone staying calm and keeping their fingers off the nuclear trigger. A big if. Thanks again to our sponsor, Conflict of Nations, the free online PvP strategy game happening in a modern global warfare. Get a special gift of 13,000 gold and 1 month of premium subscription for free by using the link. It's only available for 30 days, so don't wait. Choose your country and start fighting your way to victory right now. Want to learn more about what would happen if World War III breaks out? Check out What Would Happen After World War III, or watch U.S. nuclear weapons ready to launch for World War III for the worst case scenario.
You son of a bitch! Why is Microsoft Paint tripping ball? Look at it. That's the lead. You fucked up my graphic. I gotta do it 3 times. Look, oh my god, it's black. It's still not black. Is it black yet? No. I'm gonna go edit some colors. No, it's black now. Yeah, those things are separated. They're not. This is one piece, and that's another piece. So that's how it is. All of this I'm doing is just trying to design one part. Damn, right? That's great. And that was just for fun. I don't even know what the fuck happened. But I'm gonna do these. No, you don't. Asshole, come on. Free form, freehand. Everything I draw is freehand. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Forget about it. Yeah, that's background noise. Ain't nobody talking about that. I don't think this, no. Well, at least I know where I'm going, so I'm going to start from
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for over 30,000 mouth-watering choices, with savings
Do what you want to do.
like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. More savings and more inspiring flavors make Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
We've locked in low prices to help you save big store-wide. Look for the locked-in low prices tags and enjoy extra savings throughout the store. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
What's up, Black family? It's your boy Rigo, and I'm back with a new video. I know I've been out for a while, man. Your boy ended up getting sick, but I'm back 100% healthy, ready to go back into this YouTube. So on today's video, I'll be talking about 7 water services that you can provide that's going to guarantee to make you some money. Now, if if you're into my channel, I opened up a water company about 3 months ago out here in Houston, Texas, and there's 7 water services that I'm always doing or I'm always asking to provide. So today I'll be telling you all that. This will be a good video for you if you're trying to start a water business or you're trying to make some extra income on the side. Now I'll be telling you the pros, the cons, and actually how to market and get these type of jobs. There's a lot to talk about, so let's get this video started. Now before I get this video started, there's a few things I want to say. Now if you're trying to start a water business because you think you're going to be able to kick back, relax, it's going to be easier, it's going to be more money. I'm sorry guys, I bust your bubble, but it's not. It's the total opposite. There's a lot of things that I'm learning, especially now that I'm a business owner. It's actually very stressful. I actually work more now than I ever used to because I go to my shop, I work, I go home, I'm still working, getting ready for the next day. This is not an easy task. It's actually very hard. You got to be on it 24/7. You got to market hard, but if you have the right mindset, I believe you could achieve it. There's a lot of things that I'm learning. Like I said, hopefully y'all learn from my mistakes. Anything that y'all want to know, leave it in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to help you out. I'm always getting messages on guys who are trying to do their own water business, but for some reason they don't have no success. I'm not the most successful business owner, but like I said, I'm learning and I'm getting better and better at it. But that's all I wanted to say, guys. I want to talk about the first water service that I provide that guaranteed to make you some money. It's just teaching. Now, there's a service that I've been offering for the last month. I actually been marketing harder now, posting it on my IG, and I'm actually getting business. I'm only charging $250 per session per coupon for a max up to 4 hours. I know it don't seem a lot, but sometimes I get 4 bookings in a day, and 4 bookings, that's $1,000 in one day, which is not bad. It's an easy service you can offer guys because there's always people who are trying to learn how to weld, either because they're trying to pass the test or just come in here because they're trying to learn a new skill. I actually got a few guys who just come in here just to learn how to MIG. I had a guy who came in here last time who has a wood company, but he's trying to incorporate metal into his woodwork. So there's always people out there, guys, who are trying to learn how to weld. It's a skill that you can provide the easiest to. And if you're trying to have a welding business, you probably have all the equipment that you need. If you do want to offer this service, my suggestion to you is to post it on OfferUp, Facebook Market, and of course Instagram, which leads into my next thing. Now, if you're trying to start a welding business, get your Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and make sure that everything matches the same name. You don't want to have different businesses under different names. So whenever somebody does search the name of your water company, all that will pop up. The next thing is to keep it professional, guys. I've been seeing some of y'all pages, and I see y'all pouring liquor on your red bottoms, drinking, smoking, hanging with your homeboys. If you have an Instagram page, leave that just for business purposes only. I've been getting a lot of clientele just through Instagram. It's a great platform that you can network and market and get more. Before we go into the next water service, guys, I want to let you know that I'm still selling these FRC shirts. These are blue collar FRC, one of the highest quality FRC shirt that you can buy on the market. These are flame resistant. So what that means is once you put a flame to it really takes a long time for it to even light up on fire. But once it does light up on fire, the fire does not travel. It actually goes out. If you was to try that with a regular cotton shirt, once you put a flame to it, it will immediately just burn up the whole shirt. These are real FRC, guys. So man, support a small business. If you're interested in one of these shirts right now, they're $10 off. So they're going 60. They're going for 60 plus tax and shipping. For buy them on my website. You go in the description box below. I'll have all the information that you need. But check it out, guys. Support a small business. Okay, now let's step into the second one that I'm constantly always doing. Is AC cages. I know it seems crazy, but you'll be surprised how many people need AC cages in the cities. Now, let me tell you a funny story. I got a call last week. We went to this rental property, and this guy said, "Hey, man, here AC cages."
Oh, air conditioner, so people don't feel cool beans.
So we went to the property, and guys, he literally stole this man AC through the cage.
Got it.
ACs. I've never seen anything like it. Whoever stole those ACs, you are a professional crook. I can't believe you really took your time to really lay down on the ground, pick apart the AC, and take everything through the gas. So it's crazy, guys. So yeah, so we went in there, we reinforced everything. We had more metal all around, put a bigger lock on there, secured the hinges. We did it all. So that's one service that I noticed that I'm always getting calls of people saying, "Hey, you think you could do this AC cage for me?" And one thing I noticed is that a lot of people who own Rental property, they always need these type of AC cages. You know, they got a lot of thieves, especially in the big cities. So that's a service that I noticed that I'm always constantly getting. Next project is fences. Now, the reason I say fences is because everybody knows somebody.
I'll do that. What commercial is it? No, it's a damn lame ass commercial.
Who has a fence, who needs a fence, or needs repairs on the fence, or people ended up hitting them with their vehicle. I actually did a few where somebody just hits them with a vehicle, so you want to go back in there, replace the panel, or just replace the dent. You can make really good money through fences, especially on bigger jobs. I actually just quoted 1,000 foot of fence last week. Hopefully the quote goes through. The only thing I don't like about these fences is that you have to go to the field, you have to dig them, put them in there, lay down concrete. It's a lot of labor intensive. The bad part about doing these fences is they usually requires 2 people. And one thing I noticed is it's very hard to find good help, especially if you're starting off. It's hard to keep somebody busy. Well, likely if you can't keep them busy, they're going to try to find another job. That's the only downside I think about fences. But other than that, all the big cities, everywhere you go, there's always a fence. Same thing with the AC cages. If I'm running around the city and I see a fence that's messed up at a business or even residential, if I see potential of somebody being outside, I go hand them a card and I say, look, check this out. I fix fences. Seeing your fences is damaged, I can fix that for you. You may give you a free quote. And usually that's how I've been staying busy and getting these type of fence jobs. Okay, guys, let's talk about the next service. Is building custom smokers, custom crawfish pots, anything that's custom and revolving around food. The reason why these are so profitable and they're so successful is because people are always trying to be the next best chef. We're human, so we need food, we need to cook our food. So there's always people who need smokers and crawfish cookers. The reason I say crawfish cookers is because I'm actually about to build a few of them. I actually got 2 people who hit me up about building a custom aluminum crawfish cooker. Not a little pump one, talking about a real nice size one to fit up to 2 sacks. There's a project that I will be doing in the future, so stay tuned for that video. If you look online at other people selling real nice smokers, real nice grills, just build something, put your little spin on it, be creative, make it look different, make it look nice, just make it look like a work of art and promote it. You know what I'm saying? You can easily just build it, take a few pictures, post it on Instagram, and after that you do Instagram ads. So what Instagram ads do is they promote your product to thousands and thousands of people, and it's only like $30. If you look online, some of these smokers are going for over $1,000. Depending on how big they are, they'll go up to $20,000. So this is nice, a project that you could do. Like I said, I will be doing a crawfish cooker soon, so stay tuned for that video. And hopefully, after I promote my one crawfish cooker, I'm able to get more.
All right, so the homie Adrian is making a custom grill. He says I don't have the vision for it. You know what I'm saying? He said once it's done, it's gonna be dope. So you know what you think, Adrian?
Man, it's gonna come out nice. You know, for me, I can foresee things. You know, I've been doing this fabrication thing for a while.
I think I kind of hurt his feelings because I said, I don't know, bro. It looks a little different to me, but he said once it's done, you know, he's gonna add a little wood on the outside, you know. So what you plan on doing, bro? Did you say you're gonna put like a custom?
Well, I'm gonna put wood on the outside. I'm gonna put a split system that's gonna hold the charcoal or the wood in the middle. You can take one out, move it to the side, or put both of them in. Okay. It's gonna have a grill that comes up and down. So over here, we already got this made. So this grill is gonna sit up.
The tortillas or what?
This man is fucking funny.
Oysters, fajitas.
I ain't gonna lie to you, I kind of like the idea of doing oysters.
That man doing too much.
You can lay them up on top of there, have the fire going. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, then you can entertain, man. So that's why I'm gonna put the wood around the side. You know, most of the time the barbecue guys, the pit master is always by himself. So you know, you get one of these and then you can hang around with your homeboys.
Yeah.
Have the wood on there and eat with the barbecue pit master. So,
oh yeah. So
another service you can offer is barbecue grills and smoke and repairs. The reason why I love these is because I'm always getting work. I'm always repairing these. I actually just recently went with my homeboy Adrian to Lake Jackson and we repaired one. We had to take off all the old hinges put new heavy-duty hinges on there because the doors ended up falling. The good thing about these smokers is that they are always keeping us busy because they are made out of carbon steel. Carbon steel tends to rust, and you will always need repairs to replace the old rusted metal with new metal. Most of these smokers are worth a lot of money, so people who do have these smokers do have the money to pay you for these repairs. Usually I never have trouble with quotes. Usually if I send a quote to somebody, they usually take it and accept it. They just want their smoker repaired. The bad thing about this is that, once again, you have to ride around Houston. You have to go search for it and hunt for these type of jobs. Usually, like I said, there's days where I just take my time to ride around Houston. If I see a smoker, a fence, whatever it is, I usually keep on handing my business cards out. I try making my goal to at least hand 50 business cards out a week. But hopefully, by you using those techniques, you're able to get some work and able to get some extra income. All right, guys, so we just finished up. We got the doors back up. So what happened is the hinges that they put on there, man, they're like door hinges. I don't know why they did that. It's pretty weird because this door is really, really heavy. It's a 1/4-inch square tubing. I think the method that they had to open the doors was a little different than what we did. You needed 2 people to open the doors because we had to screw it on. Now, all you got to do is lift it up, pick up the leg, slide it down, and you're good. And once you're ready to pick it up,
At Progressive, we don't believe in a cookie-cutter approach to career growth and development. The roles within our walls are as unique and different as the people here. Check out progressive.com/career. Don't be surprised if you find a role that's a unique fit for you.
This is a story about a tech device called Aya, a revolutionary digital assistant.
That's it. All right, guys, let's talk about the 6th service that makes me money. Now, think of a cool invention that you can make. Think about something that doesn't require a lot of overhead on money. It doesn't require a lot of material. It's something that you can make at least $100. So what I came up with is these tungsten holders. Now, I sell these tungsten holders online. I actually make a decent amount of money on these when I do market for them. I haven't been marketing for them because I've been pretty busy, but I started again. So these are tungsten holders that I make out of TIG wire. So it doesn't require a lot of money to spend to build these. It just takes time. Build these, I sell it for $125. It's not the most profit. You do market for them, you can actually make a decent amount of money. When I do market hard for these, like I said, at least 10 of these in a month, which equals to over $1,000. Now, one thing that I do when I go to my shop is I try to make at least $300 a day, providing different services, and this comes in handy. Like I said, it's simple to make. So think about something that you can make, something that you're creative in, that you can either make out of scrap metal that you have at your house, or something that you can easily custom make and you think somebody will want to buy. The bad thing about this, like I said, it doesn't give you the most money. It's more of extra money that you just have laying there just in case. When you do come up with something, post it on OfferUp, post it on Facebook Market, and they will guarantee you. Okay, guys, let's talk about the 7th one. One service you could offer that's guaranteed to make you money. Now, this one right here is the hardest one to get into, but if you could do this and you can manage to get your foot in the door, you can make a lot of money, which is sanitary watering. Now, if you go right around your city, you always gonna have wineries, food processing, places that require sanitary water. These pay really good. You can charge up to $150 an hour, or you can charge by the wells. Think about these places that they constantly need maintenance work on them, and if you can get your foot in the door and actually get into these businesses, man, you could really kill the game and make some money. I'm still working on that. I actually just started marketing for sanitary watering. I went right around Houston the other day, went to every winery, every food processing place, and just say, hey, check me out. It is I have a watering company. I can take care of any sanitary water for you, any custom work, whatever you need to check me out. So that's something that you can do. It does require a lot of work, a lot of groundwork, and it's not easy to get into these businesses, but all it takes is one opportunity, and you get your foot in the door. You can make a pretty good amount of money. Say, if you're right around your city, you will always find wineries. People who make vodka, people who make some type of liquor, they will always need some type of repairs, especially when it comes to doing maintenance work. All right, guys, so you're trying to start your watering company. There's a few tools that you definitely need. The first thing is you need to see where you're going with your watering business. You definitely need to get you a mid water. This mid water right here, the mid water will help you with time. It's fast. It's way better than stick. And most likely, if you're doing your welding business, you're gonna be doing a lot of thin gauge welding. You cannot do thin gauge welding with stick. It's made for a MIG. They're pretty affordable. You can actually get 10% off if you use the code DOWELDMATH for these CS water machines. Actually, just got this FP200. It was great. It does TIG, stick, MIG, flux core, and it has a plasma cutter. They also have cheaper ones like this 250DS MIG water. I actually been using this for a while. They help me out a lot. You can even plug it to a 110 outlet. Another thing I would like to mention is that if you're trying to do mobile welding and you don't have a lot of money, you don't need a big welding machine like I have on the back of my dually. You can actually do this with a generator and just a regular MIG machine. I'm gonna check my boy Adrian out, and he's gonna tell you how he runs his business.
I'm the welder. I'm gonna be here making this repair.
Okay, looks like we got it.
Oh, man. We don't need a welding machine around here for things like this, man. Tell them what you use. Show them what you use. So for a repair like this, we're gonna use a mobile welder with connected to a generator.
You have the chop saw, right? It's a must need.
Got a chop saw.
You gotta have the chop saw.
We're gonna be cutting some material, shorter length. But for the most part, we use a mobile welder for a repair like this, so the field work can handle. And
does it go to right there? But you got gas wire there?
Yeah, we got gasless flux wire here.
How much you pay for that?
This is about $600 at the local Home Depot.
Low pricey, but I still got a 3-year warranty on there.
Yeah, it's got a 3-year warranty, man. And then if you're good about keeping your receipts or even buying it on your account, you can take it to Home Depot and they will honor it if anything's wrong with it. So, yeah, this is what we use for stuff like this. Material isn't too thick, so this handles and performs really well. So
yeah, guys, it's crazy. I can't believe he's on this far with his business. He's pretty successful too. If you don't have the money, don't swear you can still make it work. At the end of the day, it's up here on what you decide. Starting your own water business. It's pretty cool. Like I said, sometimes it is stressful because I'm constantly working. Once I'm finishing up a project, I have to prepare myself and start marketing for the next. I like to stay busy. But yeah, guys, any mistakes that I made, I will be letting y'all know. Don't forget, if you have any questions, comments, leave it down here below. If you like this video and you found it helpful, give your boy a thumbs up, man, because it helps me out with YouTube, it helps me reach other people. But other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
We make USAA for homeowners who like being ready. That's why we have safety tips for things like fires, home security, and USAA insurance, just in case. USAA, what you're made of, we're made for. Do you ever want to hear a moment?
Disney. So many good ones.
We got engaged.
We got engaged at Magic Kingdom right in front of the castle.
The moment was perfect. It is my happy place, so it's something I'll never forget.
It's my princess in front of her castle, and that's what matters to me.
It's the man in High Castle. They gotta be, what it be, what it be. You didn't mention it. Shit. Something like that. So there's that one. There's that one. The blue ones, that's when they meet. That means there's some bolts that go through. See you below. There's someone around here. I would have fucked that up, did I? It's lanes of time. Little bee, little bee, little bee, my man, mother bee. Mother bee, little bee, little bee, mother bee. Alright. Oh, I missed. I fucked up the last one. I fucked one up. Son of a bitch. Whatever. Hey, when you does that. Back. Big. Back. More drawing. More drawing. More drawing. More megapixels. Come on, get the bullshit on, man. Sticky fucking keyboard keys. What do you think? Am I fucking it up here, or am I fucking it up? I think I fucked it up. Oh, what abs? What abs? What abs? Come on, man. Cut the bullshit. There's that one. I really want to. Oh, you're so lame, Michael. Fuck. Okay, there we go. That looks more formal. Let's find out what it look like. What it look like? What it do, me? Okay. So, clear that ass. I think too. Okay, so point of this whole thing is this shit. This is the whole point. this part is going to be here. Center. It's a pretty good way to find the center. It'll be cut right here. It'll be cut right here. Bastard. Whatever. These pieces, what I'm trying to fabricate. This piece right here. Because the rest, if you build it, they will come. So I'm going to erase the other one. Erase too much. Erase so much. Just erase it a little bit. Make it a bit clear, transparent. Oh, I could have read it. Okay. What else? This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this little weed. We're gonna make a little roof. We're gonna smoke in it, talk in it. We're gonna be welding shit. That's gonna be the main thing. I think we are done. We are completely done. All right. Now, brand new from scratch with nothing else going on. No, fuck it. I'm gonna do it like this because it'll take too long to render that shit. It will drive me crazy, 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 thinking about me, baby. Oops, I should have went back. Let me do something. Let me just save it, so I don't have to redo it, baby. Copy that. Come on, man. Pace means space. What do you think? I'm gonna put it here as a reminder for myself. What the fuck I'm doing right here. Shapes. What do you got? Size. This color black, please. Okay. That's good. So what I'm trying to make really goes like this, right? Come on, man. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, what? Wait a minute. Right. Can I finally found you? We're going to be giving it real. We're going to have to give it real. If we're going to be making it real, we're going to psych, make it a little more give it real. Okay, just to be double checked out. Just to check on reality, dog. Real talk. Oh, baby. And if we're really gonna talk some real talk, let me talk again. Real talk, real talk, real talk. Like that right here. Let's go. Oh, yeah. Let me see. I think that's gonna be no. Right here. I think that's gonna be only 40% of what we got. Yeah, maybe. Maybe I was wrong. So this one here, let's say that's gonna be only. You see that I only won 60% already. So yeah, that works. No, that doesn't look right. It's gotta be around here. So it's gonna be like that, and we're gonna be doing this sideways like that. You wanna see it in a manual? That bitch is gonna be like that. Like right there. Maybe here. Not too much. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. So I think that's gonna be it. Let's see what we can get done. Alright, let's go. Is that the stick? Yeah. I remember it was R here or whatever. Support. Oh, there were three. Ha ha ha. I should have made three. Oh well. I did the other one by hand. Freestyle. Freestyle. That is. I almost got none did it. I'm gonna exaggerate a little bit just to get to the fucking point. I'm still looking for the right angle. So if I make these things, if I make the baby, ooh, I will have a shit. That's it. That's the end of the design. If I make that, if they build it, they will come. Oh. If you build it, they will come. There it is. There is my drawing. I gotta make this shape here, which is 1/3 of that. And then upon standing, upon erecting, boing. erecting. Upon erecting. It's gonna be something like this. Upon erecting that boiler, boing, 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 upon this being upon, there shall be a wall. Maybe we maybe we do it, but we're gonna go hard color. Okay. Did we do purple yet? Right. Let's go with it. All right. So the point is for it to be like from here. Ooh, freestyle. We're gonna go from here to here. This one just stays there ignored. Obviously from here to here, it's just gonna be somewhere like these. Come on. Come on, this is bullshit. And of course, up here, one more. But these are going to be attached by bolts. These are not going to be welded. The last ones I'm doing now are going to be attached by bolts. This rod, this one here, I don't know why I painted it that color, but whatever. That's part of it. This rod right here, booyaka, and this one here, booyaka, are going to be painted. I mean, they're going to be attached by bolts, so that shit can be taken apart anytime. And over here, these two where it unites, you see how they're a different kind of blue? And over here, these other two right here, a different kind of blue. That's where it unites. Those are going to be attached by bolts, meaning there's going to be bolts. What the fuck color is it? I'll put the red. No. Oh, no, what? Green for the bolts. Ah, heck. Hellos. Bubbles. It look like an Indian thing. What do you call it? A tipi. Indian hut. All right. Colors. Still with green. So, let's say maybe even at the floor level. No. These will unite. For example, let's say shit. Right here's. Screwed up. My bad. Shake. So right here we have something that goes towards the front. And maybe later on here we have a door. Of course it's upside down, of course. I don't even think that was the one. It was this one. In some kind of way, make it work. Just to make the example go. Ugh. Microsoft, you suck sometimes. Okay. So this is the door. Going up. Alright. So that is it all. Geometrically it doesn't even make sense. Alright, so let's fix it. Zoink, zoink, zoink. So let's look at that angle again. Does something look like we look it off. Okay, here it is. United by bolts right here, and here the one that begins the other roof rafter that's united by poles is not in the corner. It's actually here. So it's actually, but what's left over? Let's see, if I'm doing this shit, and I'm doing this right here, making circles. If I'm doing this, what angle is that? Is that not 90, not 45, but a little about 30. 30. So 30 degrees. Let's emulate 30 degrees to something that's already laying down on the floor, fucking 3D style. Okay, that would be. Oh shit. Let's start over. Okay. 0 degrees, I'm emulating right there. And this would be what? Zinc on the very bottom. That is not 45. Shit. Okay, let me start. This is barely, it looks like 45, but as you can see here, it's not. A true 45 would be here. So then from that point, it will be 45, 55. Just about. 55 positive after 45 degrees. So here we can say that's flat. Ignore everything, we got it. Okay. That is 90. At that angle, three-dimensionally speaking, this will be 45. So then 55. Let's change color. Let's split it up with that. So 55 will be here. So let's just make 55 here. A little bit higher than that. Okay. Oh no. So, come on, man. Here you are. What in the flank? Let me double check. Yeah, okay, that equals this. Okay, makes sense. So this will be her. And let me move that thing. Let me shake that thing. Maybe let me move that thing. Let me shake that thing. Let me shake that thing. So here we would have a door or a sliding door or whatever you want. The door now, baby, yeah. It's a doorknob. I'm not even doing no door hinges, man. It's okay. Oh. Yes. Okay, so then the bottom part and the top part would have to connect to certain places, like here. Dude, get up, man. From here to her, there'll be a bar. This will be the inside. Of course, we're from the inside of the shed here. Into the outside. I don't think I need extra support for there, but from here to there, there sure in the hell is something. As far as I can see. As far as I see, this one here, the second bar right here. The bar right here laying down 3D on the floor. And then, of course, we have one here that goes like that. Hey, it is. So, at the following point, we will have attachment by screw, by a bolt. Here, 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 on the ground, here. I guess we're going to have that floor one. Of course, on the same side, on the other side, it'll be the same thing. Well, so, whenever these two pieces unite in that blue bar right there, probably there's going to be some attachment here, here, and here would make sense to grab it here. You know, those points are going to have, it's going to be, it's going to be where the bolts are going to be. And whenever I put walls, I guess, it'd be nice to put insulation. It'd be nice if the pieces were pre-insulated. Just put them together. Badass. I'll make it like this, have fun with it, then sell it. All because of this 3D shape. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. This my thing. Uh-huh. It's my thing. This will be here, this kind of thing. This will be this shape. This shape. And this shape. And this little shape. It'll be a shed that you can take apart, disassemble, and put it back. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Dr. Dre. I don't know which side is going to have the hinge on this side, or the knob on that, or the knob on this side and the hinge on that. It could be a sliding door, it could be a double door, it doesn't matter. I just wanted a skeleton for the actual shed, and I think this is going to work. Down. You guys really, really, really want me to do this thing, make it look cool. I don't want to do it. I don't want to fucking start drawing right now. Okay, I'll make it really fucking quick. I'm not even going to save this shit, I swear. Oops, circle. Just half of it though. I'm not drawing the whole damn thing. Too much work. Yeah. Lord. This that's not gonna make me work like this. Yeah, gonna make me work like this. It's the ultimate level of laziness. Uh-oh. Come on. Fucker, you better appreciate this. Free hand, motherfucker, free hand. No, we go free. Going back this way. You ain't gonna get me twice. No, dude. This time actually give it to me fucking square. Wow, you're backwards of what I need. No. No, this time actually I need a solid, dude. What was it? Here, and then this one goes on the top. Forgot. No. That's spent. I be fucking up sometimes. I think I can do these. Look, we got shingles. We got internet shingles, y'all. Internet shingles. We're doing some internet roofing right now. We are doing internet roofing, y'all. Oh, look at the internet roofing, baby. Whoa! We are roofing the internet up. And to make things faster, roof this internet up. I did it one time. 100 times. Hold on. Hold on. Roof the internet up 100 times. 100,000, 100,000, 100,000, 100,000. All the shingles, man, they would lay down quick. Stop playing with me. Oh, you got the point. So if I go here, free because it's the opposite, of course. Go like this. Like that. Copy, booyaka. Bad angle. Bad angle. Bad angle. Which way did I go? Let's do shit. We'll go back to that. Oh, that's right. I'm gonna go like this. Oh, no. I'm gonna make that. I'm making that steep curving to the freaking intestines. Copy paste. That better, internet. Still not good enough. Almost got you. Now that I almost got you, I'll go like this. I can do it from the front. Like that. I don't even want to do that one. Fuck, man. I don't know, dude. Let's try that. Scooter. And now that thing said, I roll. Scooter. Let me try to do a free hand. I think I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna go like this. I'll do that. I'm finna get it right one of them times. I think we should let it roll and then figure it out later. Run. Put it back. Look at it run. So this is the plan, basically. Come on, man. Jesus. That's a plan. That will be it. Because, I put the metallic skeleton, then I put probably 2x4 somewhere so I can hold the plywood and I can make space for the insulation, whether I want to put the spray foam and some plastic bags to hold it in place so it can be just for every part. Over here we have two parts and they got that spike and the tip. Let me see. Yeah, this is one part and it's got that spike. So this would have an outer skin of either plywood. At least in the roof, it's going to have an outer skin of plywood. But before that, it's going to have just some rafters of some rafters of 2x4 around here on top of this metal. And on top of here, maybe, so it can get a good grip. Maybe on top of that one, and I have 2x4. And maybe here on top of this one, and I have 2x4. Why? So we can put plywood, and also in between, it'll make it more thick, right? Space to have insulation. So around here, 2x4, around here, 2x4, insulation, and then a fucking plywood, and on top of the plywood, the shingles, the felt and the shingles. So then really most of it would have really a lot of work around here, but making the frame is easy, and obviously doing the roof work, as I already know, it's not difficult. This is not the final product, but I guess I could save this as phase 3, I guess. This is like 3.5. No, 2. Yeah, it's like 3.5 at least. Yeah, that's after the felt, after all that shit. Yeah. So then, GG. So there it is, man. Nice little shed. Put my equipment right here, my compressor, my pump, and all that shit. Make it where I can lock it, so nobody go in there and just debo my shit. Hell yeah, that'll work. You think it'll work if I put it on the other side? No. Let's try it. Just for kicks, just for fun. What if I went like this and copy, then paste it, and said, let's reverse it, rotate this much, and I just made it right here. It'll work. So, does it look decent? I guess. In a way, you can let it roll. Yeah, I just roofed the whole thing. I wish that's how roofing works. I wish that was how roofing jobs work. Copy paste. There's the other half of the thing. That'd be nice. But that's not life. Life ain't that way, man. Life ain't. It don't be that way. So like that, and yeah, we'll have to have walls and insulation for the walls and plywood. That's almost like a house, yo. I gotta chill out. Maybe no insulation for the walls, but the roof, yes. And the walls, I want it to be just either plain plywood or maybe some cheap metal, whatever I can find for the cheapest for the walls. But the roof obviously has to be plywood because of the shingles have to be nailed to it. So it goes skeleton for the roof, a few pieces of 2x4 for the roof, and then some plywood for the roof, then some felt, and then some shingles for the roof. And if I don't give a shit, then probably a felt will be enough. I don't know. But that's how it be sometimes. Thank you, YouTube, for trying to think about the things with me, what I was thinking, brainstorming. Yay.